Most people think childhood trauma is loud, abuse, anger, fear. But some of the deepest damage happens quietly. You may have grown up in a home that looked normal. There was food, education, rules, structure. But something important was missing. No one asked how you felt. No one noticed when you were overwhelmed. No one helped you understand your emotions. This is called childhood emotional neglect. It's not about what happened to you, it's about what didn't happen. As a child, you learned to adapt, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. When emotions weren't welcomed, you stopped expressing them. When comfort wasn't available, you stopped asking for it. Slowly, your mind learned a rule that followed you into adulthood. My feelings don't matter. This belief doesn't disappear with age. It shapes how you live. As an adult, you may feel emotionally numb. Not sad, not happy, just flat. You struggle to explain what you feel because no one ever gave you the words. You may crave connection, but feel uncomfortable when people get close. Intimacy feels confusing. Closeness feels unsafe. So you either pull away or you attach yourself to people who are emotionally unavailable. Many adults who experienced emotional neglect become high achievers, not because they love success, but because approval replaced emotional connection. You learn to perform, to please, to stay busy, and still something feels missing. Motivation comes and goes. Energy feels inconsistent. You tell yourself you're lazy, undisciplined, broken. But that isn't the truth. What looks like laziness is often emotional exhaustion. You spent years managing your inner world alone, suppressing needs, staying strong, carrying pressure silently. Your nervous system learned survival, not rest. One reason emotional neglect is so damaging is because it teaches you to disconnect from your own needs. As a child, needing comfort felt useless, so you learned to handle everything internally. As an adult, this becomes hyper-independence. You struggle to ask for help. You feel uncomfortable relying on others. You may even feel weak for having emotional needs. But humans are not designed to self-regulate alone. Emotional regulation is learned through connection, through being seen, through being responded to. When that doesn't happen, the nervous system never fully learns how to calm itself. So you grow up feeling constantly tense, even when nothing is wrong. This is why rest doesn't feel restorative. This is why silence feels uncomfortable. This is why you stay busy. Not because you love productivity, but because stillness brings emotions you never learned how to process. Many adults with emotional neglect feel a strange contradiction. They appear functional, responsible, capable, but inside they feel younger than their age, emotionally unsure, still searching for permission to feel. This is not immaturity, it's delayed emotional development. You weren't taught emotional skills when you needed them, so your mind kept waiting. Waiting to be noticed, waiting to be understood, waiting to feel safe. When awareness finally arrives, it can feel painful at first. But awareness is not damage, it's clarity. And clarity gives you choice. The hardest part is this. People who experienced emotional neglect rarely blame their parents. They blame themselves. Because there are no clear memories to point at, no dramatic events to justify the pain. So you minimize your experience. You say others had it worse. You say you should be grateful. But trauma isn't measured by how much pain you felt. It's measured by what you needed and didn't receive. Healing doesn't begin with blame, it begins with recognition. When you understand that your reactions make sense, that your patterns were learned, that your mind adapted perfectly to an emotionally unavailable environment. You are not broken. You were unheard. And when you finally see that clearly, you stop fighting yourself. That's where healing actually begins.